Hey, 8th graders. I'm going to go through your assignment today, which is the 1.3 magnetism assignment. Obviously, you have found the assignment. Hopefully, it's in Teams assignments if you have not. And because you are listening to me speak right now, you have either right-clicked this little Watch Me link up here, or you have opened the link that I provided for you in today's Teams post. Your learning targets for today are I can model attracting and repelling magnets, and I can use magnets to either attract or repel another magnet. So your whole focus for today will be how do we get a magnet to attract to another magnet, and how do we get a magnet to repel from another magnet. First activity for today is your notebook. So you're going to need to open your OneNote notebook, and then you're going to add magnetic pole to your vocab and key concept number 2 to your key concepts page. They are both right here for you. They're also on today's Teams post, so you can copy and paste. Right click one, hit copy, and then to paste it in your OneNote, hit Control V. Same with your key concept. It should look something like this. You have a new section, Magnetism, with the vocab and key concepts. Okay, your vocab again today is magnetic pole. It's one of the two opposite ends of a magnet. So if I am holding a bar magnet in front of me, I have two ends. Those are my magnetic poles. I have a magnetic south pole and a magnetic north pole. Okay, fun fact, if I were to break that magnet in half, a lot of people think that, all right, I'm holding the south pole in this hand and the north pole in this hand. That's not true. With the way that the atoms and the molecules arrange themselves in a magnet, you always have a north end and a south end. So if I broke a bar magnet in half, I now have two magnets, each with a north and a south pole. So this magnet would have a north and a south, and this magnet would have a north and a south. Okay, the Earth is basically one big magnet as well. So you guys have heard of the North Pole and the South Pole. They're actually flipped than what you would think. So the North Pole is actually south, and the South Pole is actually north. That way when we use a compass, the north points to the north, which is actually the south, and the south is opposite, so it's down. Okay, so kind of a confusing fun fact. Back to our assignment. Once you guys have added those, let's move on to activity 2. So in activity 2, we're going to be doing a little modeling. So you're going to create two models. One's going to show you attracting magnets, and the other model is going to show you guys repelling magnets. So each of your models, I'll show you this now, has two boxes. Okay, in this left box, you notice that it's labeled held in place. You guys are going to drag two magnets that you think are going to attract to each other. So you'll come over here, you'll click, and you'll drag two magnets. I'm just going to show you guys how this works, but I'm not necessarily going to do it right or wrong. So I have my two magnets in my held in place. We're going to assume that those two magnets can't move for the time being. Okay? You guys can also orient them differently. So maybe I did that wrong, maybe I did it right. You guys won't know until you do it yourself. Well, you probably do know. Okay? So you guys can change the orientation of those magnets. So once I have my two magnets here, I'm going to assume in this box that I have released the magnets. They're no longer held in place and they're free to move on their own. So in this case, we have attracting magnets. So if they're attracting, they should move together. So when I model this after portion, those magnets should come together. Okay, so they should be together. The last thing that you guys need to add to your model is arrows that show you your direction of movement. So you're going to go up here to the draw feature. You can choose highlighters, markers, pens. It's up to you. I'm going to click on one of those, and I'm going to draw two arrows. The first arrow is going to show how this left magnet moved, and the second arrow is going to show how the right magnet moved. So obviously they're attracting. They should come together. So those arrows should be kind of pointing towards each other. You guys can do them up here, or you can erase them, and you guys can draw them directly on the magnets. That's okay. This one moved here. This one moved here. Either of those two things work. Okay. When you guys finish drawing on there, you need to make sure that you click back on your cursor. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for you guys to navigate other parts of this PowerPoint. So go ahead, click back up here to your cursor. And we're going to move on to the second modeling. You're going to be doing the same thing where you have two models here, or two magnets here, and they're held in place. And then we're going to let go of them and show what happens after they're free to move here. You will be modeling repelling magnets in this one. So again, click and drag two magnets, orient them so that you think they're going to repel each other, and then show what they would look like after they've repelled each other a little bit, and then draw those arrows to show how each magnet moved. Okay? Part 3 is your simulation. So you guys have the link right here. So again, if you've clicked back on your cursor in the draw tool, you're free to click this box, right click it, and open the link. That link should take you guys directly into your Amplify simulation. It might redirect you through Clever first to log in, but then it will take you to Amplify. So this is my simulation. I'm going to be doing two things in my simulation. The first one is to build a magnetic catcher, and the second will be to build a magnetic launcher. Okay, so for the first one, it says place a weak bar magnet horizontally, so that means left to right, at the bottom of the screen. Set up a locked magnet so that it will attract the weak magnet at a distance. So it shouldn't be touching to begin with. It should move across a distance. If necessary, test and revise your setup until you find a successful solution. So you guys might need to rebuild and rerun this test a couple times until you have it successfully moving that weak magnet to your strong magnet. Okay, and then it says upload a screenshot of your magnetic catcher. I'll talk to you guys about that here in a second. So here's your simulation. You guys are going to drag your weak magnet. It's going to be horizontal, so I'm going to twist it. It's going to go down here. And I want to pick either a weak magnet or a strong magnet to place horizontally above that. I'm, just for the sake of kicks and giggles, going to use a piece of aluminum, even though I know that won't attract this weak magnet. So let's just pretend for a second that this is your magnet. You guys can again choose either the weak or the strong magnet. That's up to you. And you would lock that in place. So if I click and drag this little lock, now this magnet will not move, okay? But the weak magnet can move if this works, okay? So what I'm going to do then is click run. And nothing happens, so that means I'm probably going to need to rebuild in some matter or another. Okay, so your goal again is to get this weak magnet to move up and snap in place with this magnet. Again, you're either going to use a weak magnet here or a strong magnet here, not a piece of aluminum, iron, or wood. Okay. Then on the next screen, you notice the big question mark, so there's something you need to input on this slide. It says either upload a screenshot of your magnet catcher or draw what your magnet catcher looked like. So you guys can use the draw feature if you want, and you're basically gonna draw what you did right here. I won't be able to tell the difference between weak or strong magnets. You're gonna have to label them weak or strong, so I know what you ended up using. This is your weak, and then you're gonna either use a weak or strong magnet here. So drawing it is one way to do it, but I think the easier way would be to take a screenshot. If you are using a Chromebook, I want you guys to take a look above the number 6 on your keyboard. There is a little button there that has a rectangle with 2 vertical lines to the right side of it. Okay, that is your guys' way of screenshotting your simulation. So you guys would hold down the control and the shift keys, and then you would click that little key above the 6. Okay, that's going to allow you to kind of resize, and then from there you can copy, Control-C, and paste, Control-V, your picture right into this slide. And it's going to look a lot better, and it's probably going to be a little bit easier for you guys. If you have something other than a Chromebook, you can use a snipping tool. So search for your snipping tool. You'll just click into your simulation, and then you'll click New. And then just kind of like you would do with the Chromebook, you're going to click and drag. You're going to either right-click and copy, or you're going to hit Control-C. You're going to go into this slide, and then you're going to hit Control-V, and a picture of your simulation should pop up for you. Okay, so that's what my setup looked like in the simulation. Again, we know this simulation is wrong because it didn't do anything, so you guys would have the right setup for this simulation. Okay, moving on, you're going to build a launcher. So same concept. You're going to place a weak magnet vertically, so that means up and down, near the left side of the screen. Set up a locked magnet so it will repel the weak magnet off to the right of the screen. So you're going to want to push that weak magnet off to the right. If necessary, test and revise your setup until you find a successful solution. So similar setup here. We're going to go to rebuild. I want a weak magnet top to bottom, so vertically somewhere near the left side of my screen, but I want to be able to move that weak magnet off the right. So again, I'm going to pick a magnet, not a piece of iron, so I'm either going to choose a weak magnet or a strong magnet. I'm going to change its orientation as need be, and I want it to repel, so it's going to move this weak magnet off the right side. So we're going to lock your stronger weak on the left-hand side, and then this is our original weak magnet. When I hit run, it should move off the right side of the screen. In this case, it didn't, so I didn't build that right. Okay, you guys would need to figure out the right configuration to make this magnet move this way. All right, once you guys have figured that out, again, go to the next slide, see the question mark, you're either gonna draw it or you're gonna take a screenshot using, if you have a Chromebook, again, that button, Control Shift, and then that button above the 6, copying and pasting it, or using this snipping tool and copying and pasting it right onto your screen here. Let me know if you guys have any issues about that. All right, wrapping up, use your draw tool to finish this. You're gonna circle either yes or no if you have any questions. If you guys have a question, go back to your cursor, type in your question right there. Obviously, if you have a question and it's something that's preventing you from completing this assignment, you want to get to me right away on Teams and I can help you out. This would be a question that wouldn't be preventing you guys necessarily from finishing this assignment. And then circle 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you think you did on this assignment? I own this. I could teach this. I'm still unsure about a few things, or I have no clue what you're talking about. Okay, you are all done now. Go ahead and turn in this PowerPoint. There was nothing you guys needed to fill out and amplify today. And like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you soon.